Hi, this is Debbie with Open Mind Tarot, back with another reading for you. It is the weekend of the 7th, 8th and 9th of February, and we've got a full moon in Leo this weekend. This is the third time that I'm doing this reading. I don't know whether it's to do with Mercury in its shadow period to go retrograde, which means it kind of appears to be going backwards in the cosmos. And when that happens, it often kind of messes with your communications, your technology, anything like that. I'm a Gemini, so I'm ruled by Mercury, so who knows. Anyway, this is the third time I'm doing this reading. I've pulled the cards already, so I'm not going to bother shuffling on camera and pulling more cards. I'm just going to go with what I've already got, if that's alright. I'll quickly show you the spread that we've got there. Okie doke, so what we'll do is we'll go through them one by one. But what I wanted to do first of all, sorry, I get this camera right. Not the best angle, like, but hey ho. Right. So what I wanted to do first of all is to read something out of, this is the Llewellyn's Witch's Date Book 2020, which I got when I was in Glastonbury at New Year. And it's just got like just like the relevant things that are going on in your astrology and stuff like that. And it's got a section here on the full moon in Leo, which is this Sunday. So I'll stick my glasses on and I shall read you what it says here. There you've got Leo there with the lion and the sun. Right. Because Leo's ruled by the sun. So it says, the full moon in Leo is connected to the archetype of the Queen, the King and the Divine Child. It is a time to embrace our personal sovereignty and to stand fully in our own power. Sovereignty is about showing up with authenticity. Having agency over our bodies, sexuality and life choices. Taking back power that has been given away or stolen. Saying no to the need for approval or the permission to be yourself. And like I was just saying there, when I recorded it before, that sort of energy's been around this last couple of days. We'll have a guy in the UK who's just come out about being gay, and he's a very popular TV presenter, worked in TV for years. Is married with children, and he's found the bravery, which is Leo, the lion, to just actually come out and, you know, tell everybody that he's gay, to relieve himself of the burden. It says, saying no to the need for approval or the permission to be yourself. The Welsh sovereignty goddess Rhiannon teaches us to speak from our heart and to walk with dignity and generosity of spirit no matter what challenges life brings. The Leo full moon also underlines the themes of creative self-expression, as well as owning and celebrating our unique way of being in the world. The full moon is a time to allow your creativity free rein and to bring a dream or idea to fruition. It's a time to celebrate, to cultivate confidence and make space for pleasure. And it says, Rhiannon, show me how to hold my head high and know what I can, and know that I am sovereign queen of my own life. So there you go. Obviously, kings and queens aren't really bothered what people think. They go on ahead and do what they need to do and be what they need to be without the need for approval, don't they? So just about owning it. I mean, look on there. She's totally owning it, isn't she? And she's, the fact that she's totally owning it means that she can take control with ease of this lion here. So nothing is too difficult to overcome when you're just totally in your own authenticity. Now Leo is ruled by the sun, which is obviously linked to your solar plexus and your inner power and strength, your inner strength and power. So let's look at the cards. The overall energy card I'm using the Rider-Waite, traditional, original Rider-Waite deck, yeah. The overall energy card is Justice. It's a major arcana card, and it's about gaining balance and fairness. And if you're not able to be authentic and, you know, your true authentic self, and then you stand in your own power and your own truth, then you're not being honest with yourself. This is all about honesty. So that's your underlying energy, about being honest with yourself. So let's see what else it's talking about. Right, we've got in the middle is the Eight of Wands, which is all about taking action and going for it, not holding back. It can mean that some information comes in quickly, unexpectedly, which kind of pushes you forward. If you can hear that in the background, I do apologise. It's my 11-year-old on his Xbox, and he gets quite carried away with his friends on his headset. So yeah, back to the reading. This is all about movement forward, fast-paced energy, action. And on either side of it, we've got the Lovers and Temperance, and they're both about bringing in balance. So we'll look at the Lovers first. They're both major arcana as well. So you've got the Justice card, that's major arcana. It's number 11 of the major arcana. So 11 in itself is 2 wands together, isn't it? So it's all about balance. And then you've got the Lovers, the sixth card of the major arcana, and Temperance. Temperance is the 14th card of the major arcana. Okay, so major arcana, what that means is it's not kind of little stuff. It's the big jobs, spiritual big jobs. Obviously you have your day-to-day stuff, and then you have things that are a little bit more, the bigger things in your life, isn't it? More major stuff. Got the little petty day-to-day stuff, but then you've got more major stuff. So this is mainly talking about major stuff, but there is going to be something that's just going to come in quite quickly to move things forward with whatever it is we're talking about. So what are we talking about? We're talking about balance between the masculine and the feminine here. So there is some part of yourself or your situation that requires some kind of balance between your masculine sort of go energy, and which is all about your kind of survival of the fittest, and what you've got to do to go ahead, get ahead and survive, and you know, basically it's kind of a little bit more cutthroat energy, isn't it? Whereas your feminine energy is a bit more passive, a bit more receptive, a bit more go with the flow, associated with your intuition, your creativity. So there's some kind of need to find balance in the stuff that's your creative side, that is, you know, listening to your higher self, listening to your heart space, and the need to kind of push forward and drive things from a more earthly perspective, a more I'm tempted to say come from a place of fear, because when you look at survival, thinking of like, I mean, we've got the triangle here, which is like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So at the bottom is your survival, and basically having enough food, water, basic needs being met. It's sort of your fight or flight stuff. So that's your more aggressive energy, just from a kind of very fear-based need to survive in the world. It's your ego. And then you've got your feminine side, which is much more receptive and much more in tune with your higher self and with spirit and your creative self and flow, receptivity, being open. Your male energy is a lot more sort of black and white, and your female energy is much more watery. So there might be something in your world at the minute that you're struggling to balance those two elements. So it's like your fire and your water, really. So I've got a lot of fire here with the Eight of Wands. So there is some kind of something coming in to really push you forward, or it might just be your own desire. These are about your desires. The Wands are your fire cards, your fire energy. You need to drive things forward. So there's something about that that needs to get you to where you're going. It could be something coming in from outside with the Eight of Wands, information, something you find online, something that kind of gives you that trigger to kind of go for it and shoot forward with something. But on either side of that, you've got these two, and they're all about balance. So temperance is integration. So you've got like your balance on the Justice card here, which was the overall energy, and I don't know if you can see. Hang on a second. Can we see the scales on here? Yeah, there they are. They're just there. I don't know if you can see them. She's holding the scales of justice. So it's about balancing things on a sort of physical sense. But this is a bit more, it's more of a subtle energy. It's more integrating two things, so blending. You can see she's got the water there. Could be a very fertile time as well, because obviously, without stating the obvious there, that could be an integration of energy to create something. So it might be that you are creating literally in the sense of getting pregnant or whatever, fertility that way, in a very literal sense. But on this card, she's got 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot in the water. So it's about being in the flow but being grounded at the same time. And if you can do that, you can integrate those two energies, like she's sort of going from one cup to another and blending. It's like alchemy. If you can do that, you can kind of follow your path there to, this is like the Sun card. It's like happiness, your authenticity, who you are, your power center, what you want to put out in the world, your inner light, what you want to kind of show everybody, what it is you want to do that is completely speaking to who you are and your authentic self. So this angel here is all dressed in white, which is about purity. So there's no doubt in your mind of what you're creating is completely in line with who you are. So this is the struggle, if you like, of what this energy is about. It's about having the courage of the lion, which is here, courage of the lion, which is your Leo, to really kind of stand in your truth and put yourself out there and strut your stuff. Look at her, she's just really rocking it. She's not really bothered what anyone thinks, and that's kind of what we're looking for. And I pulled a couple of Archangel Michael cards because on these two cards that are looking at balance, both major arcana, both major themes, life themes, you've got the angel there. Obviously you've got the angel who's overlooking this couple here, and the sun as well, which is linked to Leo, and the angel here. So I thought, right, well, we'll pull an Archangel Michael card, which is by Doreen Virtue. Those ones there. And the card that came out was this one. Could involve a Sagittarius because you've got like the Archer there, and that would be this energy as well. It's very much sort of Sagittarius energy, fire, going for it. And it says, keep your eye on your targeted intention. So whatever it is you're going for, keep your eye on it. Like don't be wishy-washy. because of what what you think people might think of you. So whatever your actual intention is, go with that. Don't be kind of swayed. I think that's why this card is in the middle, this one here, because there can be a tendency to be a bit wishy-washy, but keep your eye on this one, which is your passion and what it is you actually want. So let's see what it says on this Archangel Michael card. Keep your eye on your targeted intention. It says, thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping me focus on my inner vision and intention. I ask for your guidance in releasing any fears or doubts, granting me the confidence and courage to take action towards realising my dream. So take the action, whatever the action is, to go forward on your path. That'll lead you to your kind of, just being completely fulfilled. Take some action. Doesn't matter how big or small it is, take the action, but don't be afraid of what people think. Just stand in your truth and be your authentic self. And on the bottom of that deck was make a commitment. Don't know if you can see that there. Make a commitment. And it says, Archangel Michael, as the angel of courage and confidence, I call upon you to lend me your strength. Allow me to commit to myself, my life and my divine purpose. Please clearly guide me so I can fully open my heart to every experience. And Leo's all about the heart. It's ruled by the sun, which is your solar plexus, and it is a very kind of coming from your heart space kind of card. And sticking to that really, so you're asking for help to stick with what it is that's completely true to you, and having the courage to stay with that instead of being swayed by anybody's thoughts, opinions, whatever. Because whatever anybody else's thoughts, opinions, judgments are, it has no relevance to you, because that's just them and their view of the world and where they are in their life and on their path. It's really got nothing to do with you. So if you can remember that, and if you need help with that, ask angels for help. Ask them to give you the courage to stand in your truth and to take the action that's going to move you forward, and not be scared of integrating your sort of masculine and your feminine side. So don't be afraid to have the kind of go action element, as well as the kind of tuning in to your intuition and receptive and softer, more creative element. If you can combine those two, like your temperance there, and stay in your truth, which is your authentic self, your pure intention, then you will find the balance. And I think it's actually going to be really helpful, full moon in Leo. I think it is going to give her the courage to do that. So I've just taken a card from this deck here, the Wellbeing cards, and that's Esther and Jerry Hicks and the Teachings of Abraham, which I've mentioned before. You'll be able to find on YouTube, Esther and Jerry Hicks. It's teachings about the law of attraction, and what you put out there is basically what you get back, which is something that sounds very simple and very simplistic. Maybe people think it's too simplistic, but it's literally the law of the universe. Just like you've got the law of gravity and everything else, it is literally what we're putting out there with our thoughts and our words, is literally what creates the future. So that's why you need to just be so mindful of what you're putting out there, and just have a level of awareness of the things that you're saying, because the things that you're saying are almost like spells. It's like we say crappy things to ourselves every single day without even realising. We're our own worst critics. It's so easy to just affirm the negative and say, oh, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, but looking on the negative side rather than the positive. Oh, right. Now, so this card that's just come out there is first I seek joy and all else follows. Is that horse on there? Horses are all about freedom. So joy and freedom. So first I seek joy and all else follows. This horse looks like it hasn't got a care in the world. It's just completely free and going for it, which I think is what this reading's about. It's about not being bothered of what anybody thinks of anything. Just kind of follow your own path. Let's see what it says on the back. It says, since your feeling of joy is your indication of your connection with your source, once you have achieved joy, you have achieved connection with your source. And under these circumstances, all that is good follows. So it's not just about your thoughts, it's about how you feel. And your feelings are even more potent and more powerful than your thoughts. So you can have you can have affirmations and repeat positive quotes and statements over and over to yourself. But if you're not actually feeling it, if you don't, you've got to believe it basically. So you've got to believe it before you say it. So things might sound like really crazy sometimes that you're putting out there and affirming, but you've got to believe it before you say it. And that's the whole point of the law of attraction. It is literally about believing before you say it. And when you've got that doubt, that's not going to produce anything positive. But aside from kind of taking note of what your thoughts are and your words are, which is really important, another thing that can make it slightly easier is just kind of being in a really joyful state. So things like putting uplifting music on and stuff like that can really help with that. So giggling, you know what I mean, just watch something funny on the telly. Well, be careful with the telly, like, because I don't watch TV. I kind of choose what I want to watch. Make sure that you're watching something that's going to be uplifting and positive. And if you're in a state of joy, so whether that comes from humour, whether it comes from music, it's all vibration that we're putting out there. And whether it comes from love, just like, playing with little ones, or spending really nice time with your loved ones, or whatever, having a nice meal. It can come from food. So if you do things purposely that are going to bring you joy, then that puts you in the positive vibration anyway, because everybody and everything's kind of giving off a vibe, giving off a vibration. So which, if you go into a room, if there's a bad vibe or a good vibe. It's because we're all giving off energy. We're all energy and we're all vibrating at different frequencies. So so if you can just do things that actually bring you joy, and that sense of just being in the flow, in the moment, and freeness, whether that's just being engrossed in a comedy, a rom-com, or having some good tunes on, like I say, having a lush meal, being with little ones is great, just being like in that joyful moment. If you can do more of that, that kind of brings all the good stuff to you much faster. So, and Leo, which is where the full moon is a really playful energy. In the tarot, it's pictured as actually that's the horse. Actually, that's from the Sun card in the tarot, which is the Leo card. Features a horse with a little child, naked child, and we're talking about your vulnerability here and being standing in your truth, which is like this white represents your vulnerability and your purity and your truth. So if you think of a little child, they're not really bothered what anyone thinks, so they're just completely in the moment, in their joy, and they're not really given a toss. A bit like that horse, he's just out there having a nice good time with himself. And if you can get in that vibration of just inner joy, then it brings all the good stuff to you much faster, which is what we want to say with this. We want good stuff come towards you. Don't be afraid to be completely open, honest and vulnerable, and go for what it is that you want with a kind of authentic, pure intention. And there's your lovely affirmation there, how wonderful I am. I'm going to leave it there. Have a lovely weekend, and I hope the Leo full moon is good to you, and I think it will be. I think it's going to be a really sort of happy energy, courageous energy. So yeah, have a lovely weekend, and I shall speak to you soon.